Welcome back to the Garden Hutch. Today we'll discuss our 2023 plan for the pallet garden. Let's get going. Much like the old garden, the pallet garden is going to predominantly be a summer garden. Now, as we go through this, you're going to see we have a few things planted here and there, but truthfully, that's mostly out of boredom. Another thing I'd like to point out before we begin is the pallet garden is the most established of our raised bed areas. In fact, it did so well the first year, it kind of inspired me to do the rest of our garden areas in raised beds. With all that being said, let's go take a look. So we'll start on the south side of the pallet garden, and this bed here and that bed there will predominantly this year be reserved for melons. And this bed will grow cantaloupe, and over here we'll grow watermelons. Last year we grew cantaloupe and we had a lot of success. In fact, this will be the third year that we've grown cantaloupe. 2 years ago we had a lot of cantaloupe. Last year we had even more, even though the weather did not cooperate. And so this year we're going to kind of, again, sort of the theme with our gardens, we're going to scale back the amount of cantaloupe that we plant, and we're hoping that giving it more room will equal more melons. Last year was the first year that we had grown watermelons, and well, I didn't do so good. We ended up getting some melons, but they never ripened fully. It was really a disaster compared to everything else. But I do realize what happened. It was kind of a last minute thing. Leslie wanted watermelons. I'm not a big fan of them. So what I did was I just threw them in with the cantaloupe, and I thought, well, we'll see what happens. What ended up happening was the cantaloupes, they crowded them out, and we just didn't get any watermelons to speak of. So this year, again, they're going to end up with their own bed. So just to the north of the watermelon are going to be our hot peppers. 2023 will have a few new additions when it comes to our hot peppers. In the bed, we will end up growing 3 cayenne peppers. We will add to the cayennes this year. We're going to grow 4 very mild jalapenos, and then I'm going to grow 2 Carolina Reapers. I just want to notate here that Leslie and I are not a fan of eating spicy peppers by themselves. In fact, I can't handle them. They're just miserable to me. However, they go fantastic in our pickled peppers and in our sliced pickles for sandwiches and things. I also am a fan of apple cider vinegar for my salad dressing. And last year I put some spicy cayennes in my apple cider vinegar, and I loved everything about it. In fact, I'm still eating it now with our spring salads. So just north of the cantaloupe and adjacent to the spicy peppers, we are going to plant our butternut squash. Now you can kind of tell here we have the butternut squash and the melons on the bottom. The whole idea is to allow these to grow down the slope of the southern side of our yard where there's nothing else growing. I'm also going to let it kind of grow a little bit to the east into our top garden. There's just a lot of space there that we're not using to grow anything, so we thought that'd be the best place to put it. 2 years ago, we grew butternut squash in the pallet garden, and we got, I don't know, we got probably 24 or 30 butternut squash. We're gonna do that once again. I'm gonna put in 3 plants. Butternut squash, they cure really well for the winter. So what we plan on doing with them this year is we plan on taking all of them, we plan on curing them and just throwing them in the pantry, and we'll start eating those probably around October. And if we get enough of them, I hope it lasts us through the winter. So this bed here will be the new home for our Roma tomatoes. We grew them in the top garden last year and we got quite a few of them. This year we're going to move them out to the pallet garden, and hopefully we can increase the productivity. We haven't even come close to eating all the Romas that we put up last summer. So we're hoping that we can increase that a little bit. We have several people that are interested in taking some to can and things. So if we have extra, we're going to do that this year. Again, in this bed, what we'll do is we'll use tomato cages. Romas don't get real tall, so we'll probably just get the 4-foot tomato cages. We'll put 6 plants in here, 3 along the north side, 3 along the south side, and we'll stagger them a little bit to allow light to filter through them. So the last bed in the pallet garden is going to contain our beefsteak tomatoes. I can't help but smile when I talk about the beefsteak tomatoes. I'm showing last year's beefsteak tomatoes here. We got a lot of them. They came out really nice. We started eating those in late June, and we were able to eat them all the way through mid-September last year. We're hoping that that happens again. We use our beefsteak tomatoes as slicing tomatoes. In fact, during the summertime, whenever the beefsteaks are coming off, we will probably have sliced tomatoes with all 3 meals throughout the day whenever they're available. We don't give many of these away simply because they're gone by the time anyone asks for them. So there's just a few miscellaneous things I wanted to kind of interject here at the end. Let's start with the iron trough. Last year was the first year we grew out of it. I just got a drill bit, put a bunch of holes in the bottom of it, and it was really productive last year. In fact, we were able to grow head lettuce in it for the spring, which we'll do again this year. And then when the summertime rolled around, we put our parsley in it, and again, it did really well. So we plan on imitating that exact same thing last year. We also have the old greenhouse, which we're going to use for the pollinators this year. During the summer, they don't get a whole lot of use, only because it's in, it can get up to 135 in there during the summertime, and most plants will just, wither away and die in that kind of heat. But what we do like to use them for is it's a great way to boost up new plants whenever you want them to go from seed to sprout. So you can open the doors on them, put your new seedlings in there, and it'll probably cut the germination rate in half. So that really comes in handy if you're trying to get like a last second lettuce in there, or when August rolls around and you're going to start your fall garden. It's a great thing to use. Finally, I want to mention our new greenhouse, and I'm not sure how it's going to do. Again, it's the first year, so I might try to put some dwarf tomatoes in there and just leave all the doors open to see if that'll work. Shout out to Mark and Sandra. We appreciate you folks. I think at this point that I've rambled on long enough. As always, we appreciate you folks. Until next time, I hope everyone takes care of themselves. Peace.